ko lang dito yung trial balances nung sa chapter 2. Okay, kaya ko siya kaya ko siya stinap. Okay, so balik na tayo. So, 'di ba, ito yung entry 4 natin. So, tignan natin. So, gusto ko lang din ipakita lahat nung entries natin sa investment and sub. So, may credit ka dyan na 288,000. Tapos, pag binalikan nyo yung entry 2 natin sa cost method, ang credit dyan is 84,000 kay tawag dito, kay investment in sub. This one is 5,640. So, pag tinotal nyo siya, 288 plus 84 plus 5,640. Ang total niya will be 377,640 na equal din sa ine-eliminate nga natin. So, this one proves na zero out yung investment in subsidiary account natin na na goal nga. Kailangan ma-eliminate natin siya. Yung 377,640. Sa investment income, na-eliminate na din natin siya. Itong total credit mo na investment income, 3,440, nag-debit ka ng buong 3,440. Okay? So, na-eliminate na natin siya. So, yan lang yung gusto kong i-point out sa inyo. Okay? Ngayon, yan yung entry natin. Tapos, yung entry natin dun sa E5 or yung entry 5 natin is the same na sa cost method. Kasi nga, same lang naman talaga yung makukuha nating amounts dito. Okay? Same lang din naman talaga yung makukuha nating amounts dito. So, may gusto lang akong i-point out sa inyo. Okay? Pagdating sa computation ng income natin dito. Okay? Kasi 'di ba, may formula tayo na ginagamit. Okay? Yung formula na yon, yung adjusted parents plus adjusted sub plus plus bargain purchase option if there's any, minus yung accumulated, 'di ba yun yung ginagamit natin, yun yung pinagmumulan nung consolidated net income. Pwede din naman yun under equity method, okay? Pwede din naman yun under equity method, pero kapag kasi equity method yung given dun sa problem, halimbawa multiple choice, tapos tinanong magkano yung controlling interest sa consolidated net income. Gusto ko lang i-point out sa inyo. So, pakita ko lang ha. Sa 20x4, kay parent lang to, 'di ba? Ang sales ni parent is 480,000. Okay? 480,000. Yung COGS naman niya is 204,000. So, lahat to given ha, given. Tapos, depreciation expense niya is 60,000. And then the other expenses is 48,000. And then lastly, meron siyang investment income na 34,440. Okay? So, pag tinotal natin yan, ang makukuha natin is 202,440. Familiar ba? Balik tayo dun sa cost method na computation natin. Kinumpit ba natin yan? Dito sa cost method na computation natin. So, pag tinignan nyo, yun na din yung controlling interest in the consolidated net income. So, ma'am, yun ako-compute po na income ni parent doon sa equity method, yun na po yung equal sa controlling interest. Yes. Bakit? Bakit po ganun? Kasi pag naka-equity method nga, ano yung nagiging effect? Nag-add tayo nung share dun sa net income, nagbabawas tayo ng share dun sa dividend. Diba? Ganun din naman yung ginagawa natin or ganun din yung computation natin sa cost method. That's why pag naka-equity method ka na, tapos may binigay na income ni parent, yun na yung controlling interest in the consolidated net income. Okay? Yun na yung controlling interest. Yan na, equal na siya. Okay? Equal na siya. So, gusto ko lang i-point out yun. Kasi pwede nyo din naman gawin yung formula na ginamit natin, pero mas applicable siya saan? Sa cost method. Kasi nga ito, ang makukuha mo na is the controlling interest in the consolidated net income. Ang kailangan mo na lang computein is what? The NCI in the consolidated net income. So, kumbaga, Pag nakuha mo na yun, edi i-add mo na lang siya dito, makukuha mo na yung consolidated net income. So, yun lang yung gusto kong i-point out. Pag naka-equity method tayo, yung income ni parent sa separate books niya, equal na din siya saan? Sa controlling interest natin in the consolidated net income. 'Di ba? Equal na din siya. 202,440. 'Di ba? Yan yung sagot natin. Okay? So, yun lang yung gusto kong i-point out. Okay? Yun lang yung gusto kong i-point out. So, punta na tayo sa 20x5. Okay? Punta na tayo sa 20x5. So, pag tinignan natin tong 20x5, so gusto ko lang din i-point out yung retained earnings na 494.40. 'Di ba? Yan na din yung retained earnings nung saan? Yan na din yung retained earnings na na-compute natin or sagot natin sa Conso RE nung December 31, 20x4. So, kumbaga, kanina ko pa pinapaulit-ulit, 'di ba? Under cost method, magkaiba yung retained earnings ni parent dun sa retained earnings ni subsidiary. Pag sa subsequent year, 'di ba? Sabi ko, yung beginning balance nila is nagkakaiba. Pero pag naka-equity method si parent, parehas na sila. Kasi 'di ba, ang balance naman talaga natin nung 20x4 is 494.40 per consolidated FS. So, ang gusto ko lang din sabihin dito, parehas na sila. Okay? Parehas na sila. So, hindi na siya kasing complicated nung sa cost method. Yung retained earnings na given kapag naka-equity method, same. Okay? Same siya per parent and per Conso FS. Kasi 'di ba kanina, ang balance is, asan na ba 'yun? 484,800. Pero dito, nung naka-equity method, 494.40, which is the balance per consolidated financial statement. Okay? Which is the balance per consolidated financial statement. Pero again, lahat ng consolidated balances natin, asset, liabilities, para-parehas lang yan ang amount. Nagkakaiba nga lang sila sa entry. Okay? Nagkakaiba lang sila sa entry. Pero 'di ba yung cost method kasi, eventually, ina-adjust din naman natin siya to be equal dito sa 494.40. Mas konti nga lang yung adjustment natin pag naka-equity method na si parent. Okay? Mas konti lang. Mas konti yung adjustment natin pag tawag dito, equity method si parent. So, sa parent's book, sa 20x5, again, ang i-record natin is the dividend, 'di ba? Naka-receive siya ng dividend na 38,400. So, yung dividends declared ni subsidiary, tapos multiplied by 80%. So, 38,400 yan. And then, yung share niya sa income, investment in S company, and then, ang credit niya is investment income. So, again, puro to sa book ni parent using equity method. 72,000. And then, yung share niya dun sa adjustment ng depreciation, 'di ba? Yung share niya dun sa adjustment ng depreciation, which is and nung bonds payable pala. So, yung 12,000 na additional minus 6,000 na minus sa depreciation expense, ito pa rin yung ginagamit natin kanina, ha? Plus 1,200. So, 7,200 yung total adjustment times 80%. Kaya, 5,760. Okay? Investment income, investment in S company. So, 5,760. 5,760. So, pag ginawa natin siya ng T-account, so, investment in S. So, again, ang beginning balance niyan is yung ending balance natin kaninang 20x4. 377,640. Tapos, may kinredit tayo na 38,400. May dinebit tayo na 72,000. And, credit ulit na 5,760. So, ang balance natin is 405,840. Yan yung balance natin. Well, our investment income is 72,000. So, nominal account yan. So, hindi natin iti-take into consideration yung last period. 5,750. Okay? So, yung E1 natin is same with E2 sa cost model. Okay? Sa cost model. Yan yung entry. So, ano ba yung E2 sa cost model? Saan na ba yun? So, yung E2 natin is ito. Okay? Yung elimination nung shareholders equity ni subsidiary. So, yan, same yan. Ganyan yung entry natin. Hindi ko na isusulat ulit. Okay? So, same with E2 ni SABA. Or ni cost model. Tapos, yung E2 naman natin, yung entry number 2 natin is to establish nga yung difference between the fair value and the book value. Pero dito, ang gagamitan na natin na amount, instead, dun sa unlike dun sa cost model na ginagamit pa rin natin as is, dito yung net na. So, 'di ba yung equipment natin, last year, binawasan na natin siya ng 12,000. So, ang net na niya is 84,000. Yung land natin, wala naman tayong binabawas dyan. So, 7,200 pa rin. Yung discount on bonds payable, diba? At the date of acquisition, 4,800 yan. Pero, inamortize natin last year ng 1,200. So, ngayon, 3,600 na lang. Okay? And then, our goodwill is, may impairment loss tayo last year na 3,000. So, 9,000 na lang siya. And then, our building, so last, diba, at the date of acquisition, 24 yan. And nag-amortize na tayo last year ng 6,000. That's why, 18,000 na lang yung carrying amount niya. Tapos, yung NCI natin, so, ang computation yan is yung 90,000 na niya minus 13,200 na times 20%. So, saan galing yun? Saan po galing yun? Diba 90,000 yung total adjustment? At the date of acquisition, balikan niyo yung notes nyo. Tapos, may 13,200 na amortization. Or, sa madaling salita, yung 20% nito, 84 plus 72 plus 36 minus 18,000. So, 15,360. Diba? Tama ba? 84 plus 72 plus 36 plus 18 times 20%. Ay? Ba't hindi? Teka lang ha. 84 plus 72 plus 36 plus 18 times 20%. Okay. Bakit ganun? Ba't hindi siya nun? So, 84 plus 72 plus 36 minus 18. Ayan, tama. So, 84 plus 72, hindi ko alam ano nangyari sa kalto ko. 84 plus 72 plus 36 minus 18,000 times 20%. So, NCI natin is 15,360. And then, investment in S company. So, yung 80% nung adjustment na yun plus goodwill na 9,000. 70,440. So, ano po yung difference niya sa cost model? Diba sa cost model, in-adjust pa natin sa retained earnings yung lahat ng adjustment last year. Well, dito, ang nilagay na natin is yung net. Balikan ko ha. So, dito, diba, nung 20x5, asa na yun? Nung 20x5, itong E3 kasi yung kamukha nun eh. So, diba, nung 20x5 sa cost model, nilagay pa natin to, yung amounts niya, kung ano yung amount niya at the date of acquisition. So, ba't ganyan? Kasi kailangan natin i-adjust yung retained earnings natin. Okay? Kailangan natin i-adjust yung retained earnings natin. Pag nilagay natin siya ng net, wala nang magiging adjustment sa retained earnings natin. Kailangan nga yun kasi in-explain ko na sa inyo, 'di ba? Kung wala tong entry na to, hindi siya babalanse. Unlike kasi dito sa equity model, equal na siya. Wala ka nang kailangang gawing adjustment sa retained earnings. So pwede mo siyang gawan ng entry na net, na hindi mo na kailangan ulitin yung amounts at the date of acquisition. So kumbaga mas simple sa equity model. Pero again, yung amounts niyan, yung mga net, yung mga exact amounts niyan, yung mga balance niyan will still be the same. Iba-iba lang yung entry. Okay? Iba-iba lang yung entry. And then, our E3 is yung depreciation expense natin. So, isa-isahin ko ulit. Debit, depreciation expense, para dun sa building, tapos accumulated depreciation sa building. Okay? So, 6,000 yan. Ay, baligtad. Yung equipment pala to. 12,000 sa equipment. Equipment, 12,000. Okay? Tapos yung building, yun yung 6,000. So, accumulated depreciation, building, tapos, depreciation expense, 6,000. Okay? And then, our interest expense, 1,200. Discount on bonds payable, 1,200. So, yan yung entry natin. And then, our E4 is the investment income na elimination, 66,240 yung balance nun, diba? Our NCI na 9,600, which is yung dividends lang na na-receive niya from the subsidiary. So, yung RE ni sub na 48,000, and investment, yung balancing figure natin is investment in S company account na 27,840. So, yan yung elimination entries natin. Okay, yung E5 natin is same sa cost model. Okay, so dito again, emphasize ko lang whether cost or equity method yung gamit. Same lang dapat yung magiging amounts niya. Okay, yung mga consolidated balances. Saan lang sila nagkakaiba ng entry? Saan lang sila nagkakaiba? Sa journal entries. Okay? Sa journal entries lang. Pero basically, lahat ng consolidated balances natin is still the same. Okay? Saan din may difference sa balances? Sa separate books nila. Pero pagdating sa Conso FS, dapat pareho. Okay? Kasi diba, sabi mo ma'am, walang magkaiba. So, sa separate balances or sa separate financial statement ni parent tsaka ni sub, parehas lang yan. Ay, sa separate FS ni parent, pwedeng magkaiba kapag cost saka equity method. Pero pagdating sa conso, dapat pareho lang whether cost or equity method yung gamitin. Okay? So, next topic natin is yung deconsolidation. So, ano ba tong deconsolidation na to? So, 'di ba? Pag consolidation, nagkakaroon ka ng control. So, pag deconsolidation, nawawala naman yung control na yon. So, paano natin i-account kapag nagkaroon ng deconsolidation? So, ano ba yung reasons kung bakit nagkakaroon ng deconsolidation? So, minsan, binibenta ni parent yung shares niya, therefore, nawawala yung control. So, let's say, 90% yung pag-aari niya, binenta niya yung 60%. So, 30% na lang yung matitira sa kanya. Therefore, wala na siyang control. So, ano pa yung pwedeng reason? Pwedeng nag-issue si sub ng additional shares. Diba? Halimbawa, ang current shares niya is 100,000 shares. Tapos, ang pag-aari doon ni parent is 60,000 shares. So, 60 over 100, ang control niya, 60%, 'di ba? Siya yung may-ari nung 60%. So, meron siyang control. Ngayon, kung mag-issue ng another 100,000 si subsidiary, ang magiging total number of shares na niya is 200,000. Ang pag-aari lang ni parent, 60,000. Therefore, nalulose yung control niya. Okay? So, yun yung mga instances na pwede tayong magkaroon ng deconsolidation or loss of control. So, kapag nagkakaroon ng deconsolidation, nagkakaroon din ng gain or loss sa side ni parent. Okay? Nagkakaroon ng gain or loss sa side ni parent. So, how do we compute for that? So, ito nga, sasagutan natin yung problem 7 so that madidiscuss natin yun. Okay? So, si Porsche Corporation daw owns 85% in Sab Corporation. On December 31, in the consolidated financial statement, the carrying amount of the net asset is 1.2 million. And the carrying value of the non-controlling interest is 120,000. Ngayon, on January 1, si Porsche daw, binenta niya yung 50% interest niya in exchange for 720,000. Therefore, nawala yung control niya kasi 35% na lang siya. So, ang valuation daw nung 35% is 420,000. So, magkano daw yung gain or loss dun sa deconsolidation natin? Okay, so how do we compute for that? So, ang i-compare natin is the cash, which is yung pinagbentahan niya dun or yung selling price niya dun sa 50%. Diba, ang selling price niya, magkano niya ba binenta yung 50%? 720,000. Okay? 720,000. So, yan yung una natin. Plus the fair value of the remaining shares. O, magkano ba yung remaining shares natin? Ang sabi, 35%. 35% yung remaining shares natin. So, 420,000 daw. And then, yung NCI natin na 15%. Okay? 15%. Therefore, ang total niyan, 120,000. Pag in-add natin yan, hala, ano nangyari? Ay, nawala. Ba't nawala? Anyway, sulat ko na lang ulit. Okay, so, may cash tayo na 50%. 720,000. Fair value of remaining shares. 35%. 420,000. NCI 15%. 120,000. So, total is 1,260. Okay, yan yung total. Tapos, i-compare natin siya saan? Sa fair value nung net asset natin. Okay, so, or the carrying value of the net asset, which is 1,200,000. Okay, so, sagot dito, we have a gain of 60,000. Okay? Kasi, 1,260 tapos 1,200,000. Okay? 1,200,000. Yan. 1,200,000. So, 60,000. Yung answer dito. Okay, next naman sa problem 10. So, ito naman, nagbenta ka, pero kahit na nagbenta ka, hindi pa rin nawala yung control. Let's say, may 90% ka na 90% na shares kay subsidiary. So, benenta mo yung 20%, pero ang natira pa rin sa'yo 70%. Therefore, meron ka pa rin control. So, sa mga ganitong instances, wala tayong gain or loss. Okay? Hindi tayo nagkakaroon ng gain or loss. Ano lang? Transfer lang ng equity. Okay? So, pag tinanong how much is the gain or loss, the answer will be 0. Wala kang gain or loss kapag walang deconsolidation or walang loss of control. So, ano lang yon? Transfer of additional paid or transfer of equity item. So, dito sa problem 10, madidiscuss natin dyan. So, si Patty's company owns 96,000 shares of Salt Corporation, 120,000 outstanding shares acquired at book value. So, the December 31, 20X4 consolidated balance sheet presented by Bodies and Salt included net asset in the amount of 720,000. On January 1, 20X5, Salt issues 30,000 additional shares of common stock to unrelated parties for 210,000. So, ano nangyari dito? So, ang pag-aari ni parent is 96,000 shares. Diba? 96,000 shares. Tapos, ang total outstanding shares ni Salt Corporation is 120,000 shares. Therefore, meron siyang 80%. Okay, diba? 96 yung sa kanya, ang total shares ni Salt is 120,000. Therefore, si parent or si Patty's company, meron siyang 80%. Ngayon, ang sabi na ang sabi, nabili niya daw to at book value. So, ang measurement nitong investment niya na to is at book value. So, 720 times 80%, 576,000. Okay? 576,000. Yan yung measurement ng investment ni parent. Okay? So, 720, kasi at book value daw nabili. 720 times 80%. Okay? So, ano nangyari? So, ang sabi dito, nag-issue daw ng additional 30,000 shares. So, ang magiging denominator na natin is 150,000 shares. Kasi 120 na outstanding kanina, nag-issue ng panibagong 30. Therefore, ang total outstanding shares na ni Salt Corporation is 150,000. Ngayon, ang pag-aari pa rin ni parent is 96,000 shares. Therefore, magkano na lang yung sa kanya? 64%. Or ilang percent na lang sa kanya? 64% na lang. Okay? Tapos, ano yung magiging valuation na nung 64% na to? So, 720 plus yung in-issue na 210, diba? 210,000. Kasi na-issue daw at 210,000. Na-issue daw at 210,000. So, 720 kanina, 210 times 64% is 595,200. Okay? 595,200. So, yung 576 niya, naging 595,200. Therefore, merong additional paid-in capital na 19,200. So, yung increase na yon dun sa kanyang investment is not considered as gain or loss, but dun sa capital arising from the or additional paid-in capital siya. Okay? So, transfer of equity lang. Walang gain or loss. Pero, ganyan yung computation niya. So, kumbaga, meron siyang additional na 19,200 kahit wala naman siyang extrang binayaran. Okay? Bakit? Dahil dun sa changes ng structure ni subsidiary. Okay? So, I hope malinaw yun. Wala pala yung problem 11. Ay, na-skip ko pala. Ay, sorry, na-skip ko pala tong problem 9. Dito ko na lang ilalagay, ha. Problem 9. Nakapag-problem 10 pala ako ulit agad. So, sa problem 9, so, Palmer Company, ito. Problem 9, Palmer Company owns 96,000 shares of Stevens Corporation's 120,000 outstanding common share acquired at book value. The December 31, 20X4 consolidated balance sheet presented by Palmer and Stevens included net assets of Stevens in the amount of 720,000. On January 1, 20X5, Palmer sells 12,000 shares of its SAR stock to unrelated parties for 84,000. So, ang tanong, magkano daw yung gain or loss natin? So, first, we have to identify, nagkaroon ba ng loss of control? Nagkaroon ba ng loss of control? The answer is no. Bakit? 10% lang yung benenta niya. Ang pag-aari niya is 80%. Therefore, meron pa rin siyang 70%. So, there is no loss of control. So, pag dito, pag tinanong, determine any gain or loss, the answer will be 0. Wala kang gain or loss kasi nga, sinabi ko kanina, kapag transfer, or kapag walang loss of control, wala ding gain or loss. Ano lang, transfer within equity lang. So, magkano yung magiging transfer na yon? So, ang cash proceeds mo, or nabenta mo yung 10% at 84,000, diba? Ngayon, ano yung fair value ng 10% na yon? So, 720,000 daw. So, times 10% is 72,000. So, may transfer ka within equity na 12,000. Pero again, hindi ito gain or loss. Okay? Hindi ito gain or loss. Kahit pa mukha siyang gain or loss, kasi sabi mo, 84 niya nabenta, pero 72 lang talaga yung carrying value doon. Okay? Carrying value of interest transferred. Okay? Pero again, hindi ito considered as gain or loss, but transfer within equity lang siya. Okay? So, I hope malinaw yun. Punta tayo sa mga multiple choice question problems natin. Okay? So, number 6 to. So, on January 1, 20X4, Payne Corporation purchased 70% of Shane Corporation for 900,000. On this date, the carrying amount of Shane's net asset was 1 million. The fair value of Shane's identifiable asset and liabilities were the same as their carrying amount except for plant asset, which were 200,000 in excess of the carrying amount. For the year ended December 31, 20X4, Shane had income of 150,000 and paid cash dividends totaling 90,000. Excess attributable to plant asset is amortized over 10 years. So, ang tinatanong sa atin, magkano daw yung non-controlling interest? So, ano yung mapapansin nyo dito? So, mapapansin nyo dito, hindi sinabi kung ang gagamitin natin is partial or full. Okay? Diba? Hindi sinabi. Yun yung common na tinatanong, ma'am, paano po kung silent yung problem? Kung partial or full? So, depende yun sa problem. Wala talagang general rule na kapag silent, partial or full yung gagamitan mo. Anong gagawin mo? I-analyze mo kung ano yung pinapagamit sa ng problem. So, ang gagawin natin dito, i-compute natin pareho. Okay? Partial and full. Okay? Partial and full. So, ang beginning balance natin, under partial, under partial, ang net asset is 1 million, except daw, dun sa, which were 200,000, in excess of the carrying amount. So, mas mataas yung fair value kaysa dun sa carrying amount. So, 1,200 times 30%. So, 360,000 siya under partial. Teka lang ha. So, begin partial, full. So, lalagyan ko ng label. Beginning, kapag under partial, 360,000. Tapos, pag under full, ang binayad niya, dun sa 1,200 is 900,000 divided by 70% times 30%. So, ang makukuha natin dyan is 385,714 under full goodwill. So, yung measurement ng NCI, again, ilang beses na natin na-discuss how do we measure the NCI. Pag partial, proportionate interest sa net asset ni subsidiary. So, yung 1,2 times 30%. Itong full, since hindi given yung fair value, ginross up natin yung 900,000 na consideration transferred divided by 70% times 30%. So, 385,714. Ngayon, natin dito? Yung NCI in the consolidated net income. So, 'di ba? Ano lang naman 'to? Wala naman tayong goodwill impairment. So, yung share lang niya dun sa income ni subsidiary. So, magkano ba yung income ni subsidiary? 150,000. Okay, 150,000 yung income niya. Ngayon, kailangan nating i-adjust 'yan. Bakit? Merong adjustment sa depreciation, 'di ba? Mas mataas yung fair value kaysa saan? Sa book value. Therefore, our depreciation expense is understated. Kulang yung depreciation, our net income is overstated. So, ang useful life nung PPE is ilang years? 10 years. Okay, so may annual depreciation tayo na 20,000. So, ang adjusted natin is 130,000. Again, mas mataas yung fair value kasi sa book value. Therefore, kulang yung magiging depreciation ng 20,000. So, kailangan natin i-adjust yung depreciation na yun. So, 130,000 times 30% is 39,000. 39,000. Tapos, next is the dividends. Okay, dividends na na-receive niya, how much? 90,000 times 30%. So, 27,000. So, pag tinotal natin, under partial, under full, sa partial is 374,000. Sa full goodwill is 397,714. So, pag tinignan yung choices, wala naman pareho. O, wala naman yung 374,000. Therefore, ang pinapagamit sa atin is the full goodwill. So, yan yung sinasabi ko. Okay? Kailangan, walang general rule anong gagamitin kung silent yung problem. You have to figure it out. Dito, wala ka namang choice kundi gamitin yung full. Bakit? Kasi wala sa choices yung partial na 374,000. Ano pa po? Paano ko po malalaman? So, may instances, hindi din sasabihin. Ngayon, pag sinek mo, halimbawa lang, ang nakuha mo sa full goodwill is 350,000. Again, tatandaan nyo, may rule tayo na hindi pwedeng lower yung fair value kaysa dun sa proportionate interest. Therefore, ang gagamitan mo pa rin dito is the 360,000. If ever lang na binigay na fair value is 350,000, you still have to use the 360,000. Eh di magkakapareho na sila. So, hindi na kailangan i-specify. So, may mga ganong instances. So, kailangan nyo siyang i-try pareho. Okay? Kasi pag mas mababa yung fair value na given kesa dun sa partial, hindi nyo pwedeng gamitin yung fair value na yun. So, i-check nyo palagi. Okay? Sa exam, i-check palagi kung magiging mas mababa yung full kesa dun sa partial. Pag mas mababa, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin. Okay? So, next, proceed tayo sa number 8. So, Powell Enterprises acquired 80% of Sullivan Company on January 1, 20x5 for 250,000. At that date, Sullivan inventory and plant asset had market values in excess of book values in the amount of 30,000 and 80,000 respectively. The estimated remaining life of the inventory and plant assets were 4 months and 8 years respectively. Assume that Sullivan has 20x5 income and dividends of 75 and 25 respectively, and 20x6 income and dividends of 90 and 50,000 respectively. What is the balance of non-controlling interest at December 31, 20x6? So, dito, pwede nyong gawin dito, pag gusto nyong siyang i-shortcut, pagsamahan nyo na lahat ng income saka lahat ng dividends. Okay? Pero, for the purpose of the discussion, ang gagawin ko, iisa-isahin ko. Okay? So, 2 years to yung pinapagawa sa atin. So, ang sabi, 250,000 niya binili. Ano yung pinapagamit? assume that so wala ulit sinabi, hindi ulit sinabi kung may sinabi ba Powell at that date. Baka na-miss ko lang, the estimated 4 months, 8 years. So hindi ulit sinabi kung ano yung gagamitin natin, kung proportionate or fair value. Pero, dito sa problem na to, hindi na, ayan, ito pang example. So, kahit hindi sinabi, magagamit mo ba yung proportionate interest? Hindi, diba? Bakit? Hindi given yung net asset ni subsidiary. Diba, pag proportionate, you need the adjusted net asset or yung net asset ni subsidiary. Kasi yun yung i-multiply mo sa ownership ni NCI. Dito sa problem na to, hindi naman given. Ano lang yung magagamit mo? Yung gross up or yung implied value nung NCI natin, which is 250,000 na consideration transferred ni parent divided by 80% times 20%. So, ang gagamitin nating beginning balance is 62,500. So, kahit hindi express na sinabi na ang gagamitin is proportionate or fair value, wala ka namang ibang choice, 'di ba? Hindi mo naman pwedeng hulaan yung proportionate interest nila. Okay? So, ang kailangan natin is the income. So, ano bang nangyari dito? So, ang sabi, meron ka daw dalawang planned asset. So, yung isa daw 4 months, yung isa 8 years. So, ang sabi, ang market value daw nung inventory is 30,000 while 80,000. So, yan yung difference. So, yung isa, yung inventory, ayan. So, yung inventory, 4 months na lang siya. Okay? The remaining life of the inventory is 4 months. Therefore, ngayon, wala na yan. So, for 20x4, compute natin yung adjusted income niya. Okay? So, for 20x4, ang income niya sa 20x4, 20x5. 20x5 pala yung years natin. 20x5 saka 20x6. So, sa 20x5, ang income niya is 75,000. Tapos, sa 20x6 is 90,000. So, sa 20x5, ibabawas na natin yung buong inventory. Bakit? 4 months lang eh. So, buong 20x5 na yan. Kasi January 1. So, April pa lang, wala na yung inventory na yan. So, 30,000. Tapos, ang annual depreciation natin doon sa PPE natin, doon sa plant asset natin, so 8 years daw. So, 80,000 divided by 8, 10,000. Okay? So, meron ka ditong 10,000. Kay 20x6, 10,000 na lang yung deduction natin. Okay? So, kay 20x6, 10,000 na lang yung deduction natin. Therefore, adjusted income natin for 20x5 is 35,000. For 20x6 is 80,000. Okay? So, again, pag ginawa natin siya, pwede nating gawin 35 plus 80. Gawin ko na nga. Okay. Ang income natin, for 2 years na to ha, kasi 20x6 yung tinatanong. Balanse nung 20x6. So, pagsasamahin ko na. So, 35 plus 80,000 times 20% is 23,000. So, yan yung total income natin. 23,000. And then, minus the dividends. Okay, dividends. So, yung dividends, ang dineclare daw is 25,000 for 20x5. For 20x6 is 50,000. Times 20%, 15,000. Therefore, ang ending balance ng ating 62,500 plus 23 minus 15, ang ending balance is 70,500. Letter B, 70,500. Number 10 na, okay? Number 10, so, Parrot Corporation bought 100% on January 1, 20x4 of Jones Company on January 1, 20x4 at a price in excess of the subsidiary's fair value. On that date, Pirates Equipment had a book value of 360,000 but a fair value of 480,000. Jones had equipment with a book value of 240 and a fair value of 350. Pirate used the cost model to record its investment in Jones on December 31, 20x6. Okay, 2 years na nakalipas simula the date of acquisition. Pirate had equipment with a book value of 250 and a fair value of 400,000. Jones had equipment with a book value of 170 and a fair value of 320,000. What is the consolidated balance for the equipment account as of December 31, 20x6? So, lagay ko na dito yung kay parent. Okay? Yung kay parent naman, or yung kay parent, lagay ko na lang si parent. Ang pampalito lang naman yung fair value. So, alam naman natin, ang ginagamit natin dyan is the book value. So, 250,000. Okay? 250,000. Ngayon, yung kay subsidiary, on the date of acquisition, si parent, ang fair value niya, ay ito, Jones had, yung kay sub, si Jones muna, okay? Yung kay sub, ang book value niya is 170,000. On 20x6 to ha, yan yung book value niya. Ngayon, may mga adjustment tayo na kailangan gawin dyan, okay? Which is yung para sa date of acquisition. So, on the date of acquisition, may difference yung kay Jones, 350 and 240,000. So, 350,000 minus 240,000. Ang total na difference is magkano? 110,000. Okay, 110,000. Ang sabi, ang useful life daw nito is 10 years. So, divided by 10 years, so 110 divided by 10 is 11,000. Okay, 11,000. Ngayon, nakailang taon na ba tayo? So, 20x4, isang taon. 20x5, isang taon. And buong 20x6. So, we have 3 years na depreciation niya. So, meron tayong 33,000. Okay? Therefore, ang net adjustment na gagawin natin is 110,000 minus 33,000. So, we have 77,000 na adjustment. Yun yung i-adjust natin kay subsidiary, 77,000. So, 247,000 kay sub, tapos 250,000 kay parent. Okay, 250,000 kay parent. Therefore, our total equipment is 497,000. Okay? So, tatandaan lang, kasi baka nag-iisip yung iba, ma'am, hindi po ba book value yung gagamitan na 320? So, ang usapan lang dito, fair value at the date of acquisition. So, at the date of acquisition, yun yung kinompare natin. So, kay Jones lang, yung 350 at saka yung 240. Pero, subsequently, i-adjust mo na lang yun, okay? But para dun sa difference, dun sa depreciation. Pero, subsequently, ang gagamitan mo na is yung book value na ni Jones, diba? 170 na yung ginamit natin. Nag-adjust na lang tayo ng 77,000. Saan ulit galing? So, diba, at the date of acquisition, may difference na 110,000. Ito yon. Ngayon, 10 years daw yung depreciation. So, annually, kailangan mong mag-adjust ng depreciation ng 11,000. Therefore, may effect din yun sa accumulated depreciation mo. Ang accumulated depreciation mo, 33,000 na dahil 3 years ka na. So, ang net adjustment mo is 77,000. Okay? Kasi ito yung accumulated depreciation mo. Doon sa difference na yun. Okay? So, ang net adjustment natin is 77,000. Okay? 77,000. Hindi pala, nalagyan ko pala ito ng parenthesis. Add pala yan. Sorry, baka malito kayo. Excuse me. So, 170 ang 70 plus 77,000. Kasi mas mataas yung fair value kaysa sa book value. Okay? Kasi kumbaga, yan, net na yung inano natin. So, na-explain ko na rin naman yan dun sa mga long problem natin. Ganun din yung approach. Kagaya nung ano natin. Kumbaga, net na. Kasi at the date of acquisition, may 110 ka. Tapos, syempre, magde-depreciate siya. Kino-consider natin yung depreciation. That's why yung net na net na nung mga depreciation na na-record yung adjustment natin. Okay? Kaya, 77,000 na lang. Kung sa year 2 yan, edi 22,000. 110 minus 22,000. Okay? So, ganyan lang yung adjustment natin. Next, 39 to 41. Okay? 39 to 41. On May 1, 20x4, Peter's company purchased 80% of the common stock of Smith Company for 50,000. Additional data concerning these two companies for years 20x4 and 20x5. So, yan daw kay Peter at saka kay Smith. Any difference between book value and the value implied by the purchase relates to Smith Company's land. So, ang gamit daw ni Peter is the cost method. So, how much is the consolidated net income for 20x4? So, dito, ano lang natin, yan, controlling interest in the consolidated net income. So, first, tama, diba? Controlling interest in the consolidated net income. Okay, so, ang gagawin natin is yung kay parent muna. Kailangan nating i-adjust. Kasi si Peter, meron siyang net income na 64,000. Okay, 64,000. Yan yung parents. Ay, wait, pagpapalitan ko para mas maayos. Number 39, parents net income per book. Okay, 64,000. O, yan, 64,000. Ngayon, meron siyang na-receive, syempre, na dividend from the sub. So, dividend from subsidiary. So, ang dineclare ni sub is 5,000. So, ito yung cash dividends dito is magkano yung binayaran nila, magkano yung dineclare nila. So, again, si sub, nag-declare siya ng 2,000. Mali pala yung nag-declare siya ng 2,000. Okay? So, ang na-receive ni Peter dyan is 80%. So, 2,000 times 80% is 1,600. So, ang adjusted parents net income natin is 62,400. Yan yung adjusted parents net income natin. Ngayon, yung subsidiaries net income natin, wala namang adjustment kasi ang difference lang daw is yung sa land. So, wala tayong kailangan gawin dyan. So, ang subs net income natin is magkano? 45,000. Pero take note, class, okay, maging careful dito ha. In-acquire niya May 1, 20x4. Okay? So, wala siyang share dun sa 4 months. Okay? Kasi May na niya in-acquire. So, 45,000 times 80% times 8/12. Ba't po 8/12? Kasi nga, May na lang in-acquire, hindi January. So, 8 months lang yung share niya dun. Okay? So, 45,000 times 80% times 8/12 is 24,000. Okay? So, 24,000 plus 62,400, answer is 86,400. Okay? 86,400. So, add natin tong dalawang to. Number 40 is the controlling interest nung 20x5. So, again, dito, yung, saan na ba? 37,500, kailangan lang natin O, wala namang dineclare na dividends si Smith. So, wala tayong i-adjust dyan. Tapos, since net loss si Smith 5,000 times 80%, we have to deduct 4,000. Okay, walang adjustment dun sa parents' net income kasi walang dividends na dineclare si subsidiary. Okay, so 33,500 to. 33,500. So, letter C. Number 41. Number 41, calculate controlling interest in consolidated retained earnings. So, basically, ang tinatanong dito is our consolidated retained earnings for 20x4. So, 80,000 na beginning balance niya, 80,000 plus yung sagot natin sa number 1 na 86,400 minus yung dividend na dineclare niya na magkano na 15,000. Okay? So, answer natin dito is 151,400. 151,400. Number 42, consolidated retained earnings daw on 20x5. So, dalawang computation yung ipapakita ko sa inyo dito. So, ito yung pinakasimple. Since nakuha na natin yung sa 41, so na tayo magsimula. 151,400. Tapos, add lang natin yung sagot natin sa number 40 na share niya sa net income, 33,500 minus yung dineclare niya na dividends na 5,000. So, ang magiging answer natin is 179,900. Letter C. 2041 is B. Okay? Paano po kung ang pinakompute lang sa atin is 20x5? So, paano yung magiging computation natin dyan? Halimbawa, hindi tinanong tong 41. Ang tinanong lang is 42. So, diba, ang magiging starting point natin is yung retained earnings niya na 129,000 dito. Yan yung magiging starting point natin, 'di ba? Yan. So, ang magiging starting point natin is yung 129,000. Assuming lang ha na hindi tinanong yung number 49. So, kailangan i-adjust natin simula nung 20x4, 'di ba? So, yung share niya sa net income nung 20x4, 24,000, 'di ba? Plus minus yung 1,600 na dividends, 'di ba? Ito yung yan. Bakit po 24,000 lang? Bakit po hindi 86,400? Bakit po ganon? Kasi itong 129,000 na to, it includes na yung 62,400, ay yung 64,000 na income niya talaga. 'Di ba? Kasi itong 64,000 na income niya, i-close yan dun sa retained earnings niya. So, ang kailangan na lang natin i-adjust since naka-cost method siya is yung mga related kay subsidiary. Okay? Hindi na natin sinama to yung 64,000 kasi again mako-close yan eventually sa retained earnings niya. Okay? Mako-close siya eventually sa retained earnings niya. Okay? So, yan. So, i-add natin yon. Tapos, ba't po tayo nag-minus ng 1,600? Kasi nga, ang na-close, naka-cost method, na balance is 64,000. Yun yung mapupunta sa retained earnings niya. So, kailangan alisin din natin tong dividends from sub na to na 1,600. So, ito yung mga from 20x4. Okay? Na transaction niya with the subsidiary or na-receive niya from the subsidiary. Tapos, the rest, parehas na. 33,500 minus 5,000. Okay? So, parehas lang yung makukuha natin. 179,900. So, mas madali itong ganitong approach kasi, kasi, ang pinagmulan mo na is yung konso na ending balance. 'Di ba? Yung nakuha natin sa 41. So, yung from this year lang, yung kailangan natin i-adjust. Pero, just in case lang na ang choice nyo lang is ito, 20x5 lang yung given. So, ganito yung magiging solution natin. So, again, hindi na natin sinama yung 64,000 from the parent. Ang in-adjust na lang natin is una, itong addition nung income from the subsidiary during the first year and yung elimination ng dividend income na na-receive. Kasi for sure, ang na-close sa separate book nila is yung 64,000. So, I hope malinaw yun. Pero ito yung mas simpleng computation niya. Number 51 to 63. So, on January 1, parent company acquired 90% of subsidiary company in exchange for 5,400 shares of 10 pesos common stock, having a market value of 120,600. So, parent and subsidiary contents balance sheet on January 1 were as follows. Okay, so ito daw parent and subsidiary. At the date of acquisition, so ang sabi, using partial goodwill, all asset and liabilities are equal to the respective market values except for the following. So, yung 17,100, yung equipment, 48,000, yung patent is 13,000. Okay? So, ang tinatanong sa atin, how much is the goodwill? Sabi ko sa inyo, hindi natin pwedeng takasan yung mga una nating chapters kasi laging sa ganun nagsisimula. So, we have to compute the adjusted net asset first. Okay? Yung adjusted net asset natin. So, total natin to, yung unadjusted, kasi diba yan din naman yun, 50,000 plus 15,000 plus 41,000, 106,000. 106,000. This is our total net asset before adjustment. Okay, before adjustment. Meron tayong mga kailangan i-adjust. Una sa inventory. So, ang current valuation niya, 16,100. Dapat daw, 17,100. That's why we have to add 1K. Next, sa equipment, ang fair value niya, 48. Ang naka-record lang sa atin is 40,000. So, we have to add 8,000. Sa patents naman, 10. Yung naka-record, 3K daw dapat. Okay? So, ang total, total adjusted net asset is 118,000. Okay? So, we can now compute for our goodwill. So, ang consideration transferred natin is 120,600. Yan, given yan. Ito, 120,600. NCI natin, again, proportionate daw. So, 118 times 10%. Okay, so 11,800 yung NCI natin. Okay, less the fair value of the net asset na 118,000. Therefore, our goodwill is 14,400. 14,400. So, letter C. Okay, number 51 is letter C. Number 52 is 11,800. Na-compute na din natin yan. Okay, number 53, equity holders on January 1 is magkano? Yung answer dyan. So, sagot dyan, ang tinatanong lang, retained earnings. Okay, magkano daw yung retained earnings on January 1? Sagot dyan is sa parent lang, 48,000. So, ganun din yung consolidated retained earnings natin. Sa parent lang, 48,000. Tandaan, puro January 1 yung tanong, kaya wala tayong computation na ginagawa. Number 55, investment balance using the cost model on December 31. So, since cost model tayo, kung magkano yung binayad natin or magkano yung consideration transferred, yun pa rin yung balance. Hindi siya gumagalaw. Okay? Hindi siya gumagalaw. The same information, compute the dividend income. So, the dividend income is equal to yung dividends na binayaran ni subsidiary, 4,000, multiplied sa 90%. So, 3,600. O, magkano daw yung non-controlling interest in net income natin? Okay? Non-controlling interest in net income. Wala naman tayong goodwill, so ang computation lang yan, or wala tayong impairment loss ng goodwill, so we just have to adjust the net income of the subsidiary and get kung magkano dun yung share ni subsidiary. Okay? So, ang sabi, yung inventory natin nabenta na. Okay? So, yung 1,000 na difference, yan. Tapos, yung useful life ng equipment natin, so, 8,000 divided by 4, 2,000. So, minus 1,000, minus 2,000. Tapos, yung patent natin, 3,000 divided by 10. So, 300. Okay? So, yan yung mga adjustment natin. So, total niyan will be 6,100. And then, kunin natin yung 10% lang. So, 610. 610. Yan yung answer natin sa 57. So, yan. So, I hope clear na tong chapter 3. Kung meron kayong mga questions or clarification na, teka lang. Ay, may mga kasunod pa pala to na tanong. Hindi pala siya nasama. Teka lang ha. Mayroon pa pala to. May kadugtong pa to. Yung 58. Ano nga yung tanong sa 58? Number 58. Teka ha. Ay, hindi ko pala siya nasama talaga. Yung 58. So, hanapin natin ha. May kadugtong pa to eh. Mga question. Yan. So, 58, ang tinatanong sa atin sa 58 is the non-controlling interest. Sorry, hindi ko nasama. Teka, isulat na nga natin. 58, ang hinahanap is the NCI. Tapos, equity holders of parent. Or yung CI in NCI, yan yung tinatanong. Tapos, conso net income, 61 is controlling retained earnings, conso RE. Tapos, 62. Ay. 62 parehas. Conso RE. 63. Ang tinatanong is conso shit. Okay? So, yan yung mga questions natin. Full screen. Yan. Okay. Hindi pala nasama. Okay. So, sa number 58, ang tinatanong sa atin is the NCI. Magkano daw yung NCI natin? So, dito ko na lang ilalagay. So, ang NCI natin, again, on December 31, ang NCI natin on December 31. So, ang beginning balance natin is 11,800 plus yung share niya sa net income na 610 minus yung dividend na na-receive niya from the subsidiary. Ang dividends paid ni subsidiary is 4,000 times 10%, 400. Therefore, ang NCI natin is 12,010. Okay? 12,010. Yan yung answer sa 58. Sa 59 naman, ang tinatanong is the controlling interest in the NCI. Okay? So, una, yung adjusted parents muna. Okay? So, ang net income ni parent, ang sabi is 30,200. Ngayon, may kailangan tayong i-deduct dyan, which is the dividends. Huwag niyong kalilimutan to ha. So, yung dividends na na-receive niya from the subsidiary is magkano? So, 4,000 times 90%. So, we have to deduct 3,600. Okay? Kaya, ang adjusted parent is 26,600 while nakuha na natin yung adjusted itong 6,100 times 90% lang. Okay? 6,1 times 90% is 5,490. Therefore, ang ang CA in NCI natin is 32,090. Okay? 32,090. And then, our conso NCI, add lang natin 32,090 plus 610. Okay? 32,090 plus 610, 32,700. Or, pwede din 61 plus 26,600. Parehas lang yung kalalabasan. Conso RE natin, page. $58, $12,010, $59, $32,090, $60, $32,700. 61 is consolidated RE, 61 and 62. So, ang beginning balance natin is yung 48,000 nga ni parent plus yung share, yung controlling interest in the consolidated net income na 32,090. Yan, 32,090 minus the dividend paid ni parent. Okay, ni parent na 15,000. Therefore, our conso RE is 65,090. Okay, number 63, ang tinatanong is conso or consolidated shareholders equity natin. So, ang magkano yung common stock natin? So, ang common stock ni parent is number 63. Okay, ang common stock ni parent, so tatandaan, meron siyang 100,000 dito. Tapos nag-issue siya ng 5,400 shares. So careful kayo ha, pag ang consideration transferred is shares, dadagdag yun dun sa common stocks natin. So 5,400, ang par value niya is 10. So, ang magiging total common stock ni parent is 154,000. Okay? 154,000. Kasi may 5,400 na additional na in-issue dahil nga ang consideration transferred natin is shares. Okay? Tapos, dun din sa ating additional paid in capital or share premium, may madadagdag din dyan. Okay, may madadagdag din dyan. Kasi, ang ano natin, consideration transfer is 1,2,600. Diba? Ang par value lang is 54,000. So, may madadagdag na 66,600 sa additional paid in capital natin, yung excess. So, 1,2,400 minus, 1,2,600 minus 54,000, 66,600. Idadagdag natin yun dun sa 15,000. Therefore, our total additional paid in capital is 81,600. Okay? Plus, yung na-compute natin na retained earnings na 65,090. Okay? 65,090. Our total parents stockholder equity is 300,690 plus yung NCI natin. Okay? Magkano yung NCI natin? Total NCI natin is 12,010. Okay? 12,010. Okay? So, that's why our total consolidated shareholders equity is 312,700. So, class ha, ingat kayo dun sa ganito. Kapag pinakompute sa inyo yung total share, pakicheck ako kung ang consideration transferred is shares. Pag shares, idadagdag nyo yun sa common stock. Kasi si parent yung mag-i-issue niyan. So, mag-i-increase yung common stock niya. Okay? Mag-i-increase yung common stock niya. May mga ganyang pampalito. So, I hope clear sa inyo to. Kung merong question, message lang kayo. Okay?